Rams fans, buckle up because something just dropped inside this franchise that nobody saw coming, and the weight of it is shaking the entire locker room right now. There's a moment in every season when the pressure hits a breaking point, and today we're staring straight at one of those turning points. The energy around this situation is intense, players are frustrated, and the fan base is demanding answers. And trust me, what happened on that field has sparked a storm inside Los Angeles that refuses to settle. Before we dive deeper into this developing story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a like so you don't miss a single update involving your Rams right here, right now. I've got to start with the man whose name has been echoing through every hallway in Los Angeles this week, and that man is Braden Fisk, ***. Because let me tell you something right now. When a team is already licking its wounds after a gut-punch loss to the Carolina Panthers, the absolute last thing it needs is the league office dropping fines like confetti at a parade nobody wanted. And yet here we are, talking about Fisk's $11,881 fine for a hip-drop tackle that, let's be honest, didn't even draw a flag during the game. I mean, I watched that play. I watched it in real time, and I watched it again afterward, and I couldn't help asking myself, if it was so egregious, where was the yellow cloth when it actually mattered? But now, suddenly, it's a punishable offense. Oh, please. That inconsistency alone could make a grown man lose sleep. But let's not act like this entire situation exists in a vacuum, because the Rams as a whole were already drowning in frustration before this fine even hit the ledger. And Fisk, who I still believe is one of the most naturally disruptive young playmakers on this roster, has been living in the shadows of expectation all season long. Last year, the man was a tornado disguised as a defensive lineman, 5 sacks as a rookie, blowing up backfields, forcing chaos, making offensive coordinators question their very purpose in life. This year, 2 sacks through 12 games, 2. I'm not saying the impact isn't there, because it absolutely is in flashes, but flashes aren't enough when the Rams need floodlights. They need thunder. They need the kind of violence off the snap that forces offensive lines to pray before each possession. And yet, as I watched Sean McVay and Chris Schuler on the sidelines in Week 13, looking like 2 men trying to solve a puzzle that keeps adding new pieces mid-game, I couldn't help wondering if they're asking too much of Fisk or not nearly enough. Because while the Rams are waiting for him to unleash the version of himself that dominated the league last year, guys like Byron Young and Jard Verse are out there stacking sacks like they're collecting rewards points. That's pressure. That's a spotlight whether he wants it or not. And Fisk, talented as he is, has to respond. Not someday, not eventually, but now. This defense cannot afford passengers. It needs drivers. But then again, how can we talk about Fisk's fine without addressing the broader absurdity of this league's officiating and disciplinary system? The Panthers had 2 players fined as well, Lathan Ransom and Thomas Incoom, but combined they still paid less than Fisk alone. And if you're a Rams fan, you can't help feeling like this is just insult piled on top of incompetence. Incoom gets fined for a late hit that actually drew a flag. Ransom gets fined for using his helmet, even though no one on the field apparently thought it was illegal in the moment. The league stepped in afterward and turned judgment into a retroactive art form, and once again the Rams find themselves on the wrong end of an equation that never seems to add up. But let me circle back, because the heart of this whole conversation isn't the fine, it's Fisk himself. It's the Rams' belief in him, the fans' belief in him, and the version of him we all know he can be. 25 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 fumble recovery, fine. But last year he had nearly double the production by this point. That's not regression, that's a plea for recalibration. I'm urging the man to reclaim that fire, to find that disruptive engine that made him one of the most feared rookies in the NFL. Because the Rams don't just need a body in the trenches, they need a spark. They need violence with purpose. They need Braden Fisk at full volume. So I'm asking you, Rams fans, do you believe Braden Fisk can return to that dominant form, or are we witnessing a sophomore slump turning into something more troubling? Drop your thoughts, because this conversation matters. And if you want more breakdowns, more emotion, more truth about your Los Angeles Rams, make sure you *like, subscribe, and join this community so we can ride this roller coaster together every single week.